It's Sea Duck Again is brought to you by Hackensack Brewing Company and their Imperial Pilsner Auga, which was created in honor of the legendary DJs The Awesome 2. Thick Crates, pure hip-hop satisfaction. Check out their limited edition new releases available now on Instagram. Weaponized Records, an independent music label serving up underground hip-hop. The revolution will not be televised. It will be weaponized. And the Spitslam Record Label Group. The Spitslam Record Label Group, a Chuck D situation. Catch us on your favorite streaming platform, on Bandcamp, or visit our official web store at spitslamrecords.com. All releases are available digitally or on CD, with select titles available on vinyl and cassette. The Spitslam Record Label Group. Throwback to the future sound.
It's C-Doc again.
I guess I should come on here, and start the damn show. What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday night. Hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to another episode of It's C-Doc Again. I was getting myself ready. Wasn't really ready. It's all right. We're still going to do this. But don't do it alone. Got to bring in the squad. First up, she got her start in classic rap radio at the world's first 24-hour hip-hop station, all hip-hop station. I'm talking about KDAY in LA. Our lady from the heyday of K-Day, Jennifer Jenny.
What's happening?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to be seen.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. How are things, Jennifer?
Things are going swimmingly. We went from all kinds of rain to now it's hot.
Oh, interesting.
Whatever.
We went from 70-some degrees to back to the 40s and 50s. It's like, oh, okay.
California.
Yeah. Pennsylvania. Fun. What are you going to do?
Right?
Also joining us tonight, he has the dopest account on Instagram. If you don't follow him, you are a sucker. Ladies and gentlemen, Ultramag7.
Peace. What's up, people?
It's good, bro.
Rap hands.
Yeah,
You got,
Yeah, oh yeah. B-boy stands, rap hands, yeah. The whole time.
Yeah.
Ultramag, what's good, man?
I'm just chilling, man. Staying busy. It's going to be a fun summer. I can tell.
It is. There's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
and I got confirmations.
Right, which helps. Confirmations are good.
I needed it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. And our final co-host this evening, he is the man behind Chuck D's Rap Station Radio, the president of Rap Station. He has the Hip Hop God Show for 822 years and running. Ladies and gentlemen, just about, right? 822 and a half. And there's a new episode tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Flatline.
Yep.
Woohoo!
Woo.
There he goes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We are.
Don't forget to tip your waiters. We'll be here all week.
Yes, indeed.
Of course.
Of course. Flatline, how are things with you?
Pretty good. New show and excited for this one.
Yes, most definitely. And we are not going to waste any time because our guest is here.
Let's jump in.
Let's jump right in. And please welcome to the show the artist formerly known as Lakim Shabazz, who is now the God Lakim.
Peace.
There he is.
Peace.
Super salute.
Yeah. Peace
Yes.
to man, woman, and child. And that's peace to the universe. That encompasses every man, woman, and child on the planet.
Word.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I always been God Lakim. It was just God Lakim Shabazz law. Now it's God Lakim Sharika law. That's all that is. Just a name changing. That's
Thank you
all.
for
And
clarifying.
that happened back in 1993. Yeah, a lot of people in the nation, you know, a lot of my brothers and sisters in the nation, they know that I changed my name back then. But a lot of people in the music industry, they don't know that. They just know me by Lakim Shabazz. And I respect that because I built the history for myself in hip hop under that name. But far as, you know, far as my identity and my name is Lakim Sharika Law, formerly Lakim Shabazz Law. But peace, it's a pleasure to be here.
We're happy to be able to talk to you, bro. It's great to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, let's talk about hip hop. Let's talk about growing up, when you grew up and got into hip hop. You know, how did that all happen?
That happened. Well, I grew up in the city of Newark, and at a time when I was around maybe in the 6th grade, I started DJing. You had a lot of DJ crews out here in Newark, and I was on 2 techniques, maybe in like the 6th grade, 7th grade, spinning club music or whatever hot disco record was out. Well, lo and behold, Sugar Hill Gang came out with Rapper's Delight, and that was just something new to us, and we flocked to it instantly. It was like, you know, New Jersey right next to New York, so we heard Rapper's Delight, you know, they rhyming over a Chic Good Times beat, and it was just something new to us, you know. They wasn't like singing. It was like talking to the music, but it had rhythm to it and flow. So that broke the ice right there. That was my introduction to hip hop. And I just gravitated from there.
What did you start collecting records at a young age?
Yeah. Well, I come from a family. My mom's always had a bunch of records. Whatever hot new joint that came out on the radio, whatever, she would take us all to the record store and buy those records. Back then, you had stores like the Wiz, Sam Goody's, all these different spots. And it was dope, man. It was a time where you could go downtown to the music store and you could buy Sherwin Vega speakers from there. You can buy the Technique turntables from there. It was always a DJ in the store, and they was always playing music.
Wow.
Oh, it was dope like that. And my mom's was heavily into music, and my uncle. So any new record that was out, I'm talking about Foxy, Get Off, LTD, when they came out, everything you could think of, any new hot record that came out, my mom's went to the store and bought it, and she took us with her. And you know, that's how I got familiar with a lot of these records. So when hip hop broke, I already was exposed to a lot of records, and I started noticing some of the records they was using I already had in my archives. So, you know, it was a big thing with DJing though, like mixing and stuff like that. It was a lot of DJ crews in Newark at the time. You had this one crew called Mark IV. Whenever you heard Mark IV was spinning at a party back then, everybody flocked to Mark IV. You had a crew called Gentlemen of Leisure, Gentlemen of Neptune. So it was crews that used to battle DJing back then. They was spinning disco music. But then once rap came out, that was it. The first joint that we gravitated to, I say, was Sugar Hill Gang, and then it was Super Rhymes with Jimmy Spicer, and the rest is history. Everything that came after that, I gravitated to it, and I met this brother named Bink. He was from the Bronx. I was from Newark, but he was living out here in Newark, and he started taking me to the Bronx. I used to spend weekends with him up in the Bronx in the early 80s, and he took me around Disco Fever. We used to catch the train out the Bronx River. His cousin Sunni and them lived out there. And during that time, I got exposed to like Cold Crush, Fantastic, Romantic 5, you name it, Funky 4, everybody, because the tapes was circulating then. You talking about the groups that didn't really have records at the time, but they were circulating, doing parties and rocking like almost every weekend at these different spots in New York. I'm a young kid still in high school, but we was getting all those tapes. So I got exposed to all that, and I eventually gravitated to Kaz and Kumo D. They became my idols right there. Yeah. Grandmaster Kaz and Mo D. I like a lot of people, you know.
Yeah, but that makes a lot of sense because you can kind of hear the lineage in your style, you know, coming from that. Yep.
Yeah, I love them. I love Tila Rock, Tito from Fearless 4, DLB, Crash Crew, Jazzy 5, Cosmic Force MCs. It goes on and on. I have a lot of influences. They all reared me into who I became as an MC. And I always give props to all of them. Even Chuck D, KRS, Rakim, Kane, all of them. Yeah. All of them influenced me, you know.
So, how long did you continue to DJ before you decided you were going to start writing rhymes?
Actually, my cousin who sparked me with the knowledge, he's the one that sparked the thought in me to rhyme. I had never had intended on being an MC. I was always DJing. And one day he just told me, yo, why don't you write a rhyme? And I just did it. And I recorded it with my DJ C Just. And C Just liked it. My cousin Lamel liked it. And I kept rhyming ever since then.
Wow.
That was early in high school. That was around 9th grade or 10th grade. You know, I wasn't even thinking about making no record or nothing like that. It was just the love of the culture. It's like the hip hop culture was blooming at that time. You talking around like 83, 84, 85, 86. Because I graduated high school 86. So I got exposed to hip hop around 82, 83. I'm spending weekends in the Bronx all throughout high school. So, you know, it was cool. I got exposed to a lot, man. Standing in front of Disco Fever at a young age as a teenager. Couldn't get in there, but me and my man Bink was out there.
Right.
That was iconic. Yep.
Right. Wow. So you were down with C Justice all the way back then? Like,
yeah, me and C Just, my DJ C Justice, that's on my album. We met my cousin Lamel. Him and Lamel went to the school out in North called Lakim Shabazz High School. They was in the same grade. I was 2 years under them. Yet he was real tight with my cousin Lamel. So he introduced me to C Just back then. And me and him was working all throughout high school to the point that we linked up with 45 King.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about DJ Mark.
45 King, man, I love him. I keep him alive, and we're gonna do something in his honor. Definitely, me and my Flavor Unit compadres. Yet, my lineage with Mark is crazy. I first met 45 King through this guy when I was in high school. I think I was maybe in like the 10th grade. This brother named OP and this brother named Sharif. They knew I rhyme, and they used to rhyme. So at the time, I was living in Irvington, New Jersey. They exposed me. They said, yo, it's this guy from Queens, New York, or from New York named DJ Mark. Yo, he be doing parties at Irvington High, whatever, and he nice. So they took me to meet him one time, and I met him. You know, we kicked it for a minute. That didn't amount to nothing. Fast forward, maybe when I graduated high school, around 1986, I was really taking my craft seriously. I was being managed by this brother named Abdul. Lo and behold, he took me to 45 King. And 45 King was digging my demo at that time. Yet nothing transpired from that. 2 years after that, I'm running around with my cousin Lamel, still perfecting my craft, rapping or whatever. And he introduced me to Biz. He used to take me to Biz in Cool V, and actually I was like with them. I was with Cool V and Biz while they was working on the Vapors album, and they was digging me, and I'm pretty sure they probably would have did something with me if they wasn't working on the Vapors album at that time. One day I was out there rapping for them or whatever, and I asked Vaughn, I'm like, yo, you know 45 King? He like, yeah. He said, you met him before? He said, yeah. I said, you got his number? He said, yeah. He gave it to me. I called him up. and he remembered me because I didn't know if Mark was going to remember me or whatever, but he remembered me, and we linked up. He asked me to come visit him. I came to see him. When I got there, Apache was there, I think Lord Ali Bosky and Chill Rob, and they was tearing it down on the mic. And I'm like nervous like that. I'm like, oh, these the dudes I'll be hearing on, Red Alert, 45 King special. This is at a time where Red Alert is just playing 45 King tracks on 98.7 Kiss that don't nobody have. They not on wax. Mark just used to send them to Red. And Red playing the joints, like T-Rock too, and all of that. So, you could imagine what that's like for me. I'm this young guy, and I had met him twice before then. He had showed me tapes in his basement of Tito from the Fearless Four. Tito had came over Mark's house in Irvington. Mark is spinning instrumentals of Friends from Houdini, and Tito killing it, yo. It's like Tito to me from the Fearless Four, even to this day. Tito is nasty with it on the mic. But back to that story with Mark. Anyway, Biz connected me with Mark. I went up there. Apache, Double J, and them was in there tearing it down. And they put me on the spot. Like, yo, you the new dude, right? Mark was talking about, let's hear you rap and shit. So I had to show and prove myself in front of them. They liked me, and the rest is history. We stayed together from that point on. And that's how I connected with Mark. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. If I wouldn't have connected with Mark, I probably would have been with Biz, because my relationship with Marley and the Juice Crew, we was like a family, man. Like anytime Kane or Biz and them perform, they would let me know. A lot of times you would find me at their shows. I mean, you can even go on YouTube now and type up Lakim Shabazz at Big Daddy Kane's birthday party and hearing the freestyle. Because we was cool like that. My Juice Crew family, I love all of them. Ace, Craig G, all of them. And special shout out goes to Roxanne for being inducted into the, rock and roll thing, that speaks ions, because she deserved that. She's one of the first ladies of hip hop.
Yep.
First one that we ever heard battling. She called out UTFO. You know what I'm saying? She went against dudes.
Yes.
In her prime, let alone the women, she went against dudes.
And off the head
you
too.
God, but you do eat Lord. that lyric still resonate with me to this day. I'm like, oh, she dissed the God, Anyway.
No, it's funny because a lot of people we talk to, Biz is a common denominator. Biz comes up a lot.
Yo, Biz was the man. Plenty of times we would be like all Flavor Unit members. We would be in Mark's basement in Irvington, and Biz would pop up at any time. And the funny thing with these producers, they would battle with records. Biz would come over there with a bag full of 45s. And Mark is known as the 45 King. So here you go. They going back and forth, playing different. I bet you don't got this, but yo, Biz, you don't have this. And us MCs, we just sitting back enjoying the festivity.
Yeah.
One of the dopest joints Biz came over there and played was a Fat Albert Halloween special. That joint came on and said, "Hey, Mudfoot, play some tunes for
us."
Yeah. The horn came on. Doom, doom, dun, 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 boom, boom, dun, 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 dun. Yo, greatest memories ever, man. And that sparked the interest in me because I was already a DJ. Now at this time I'm rapping. However, at the same time, I'm watching how Mark put beats together.
Yeah.
That kind of sparked me into getting into producing.
So did Mark get you the deal at Tough City then? Because he was doing records with them already, right?
Well, he was doing records with them. He presented that to me, and I was just a young eager beaver, young, dumb, and I could say it right now, full of cum, and signed on that dotted line because I wanted to get something out there. I have no regrets though, because if it wasn't for per se me signing that and putting out that album and the music I did do with Tough City, I wouldn't be doing this interview right now. So I give credit where credit is due, it wasn't after I signed the deal and got to know what type of situation I was into, as you get older, you learn better.
Yeah.
Well, you should, once you know better, you do better, you should learn from these things. And, I learned that it wasn't the best situation for me and I had to do what I had to do. However, like I said, I have no regrets. I'm grateful,
Yeah.
because of those albums, Pure Righteousness and Lost Tribe of Shabazz, I'm known around the world. And after 30 some odd years later, I'm doing this interview here. So I'm grateful,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
I'm grateful. And the music spoke for itself. I was able to do my job in awakening people into the truth for themselves. And my album caused a lot of people to become active members in my nation. So I'm grateful.
Yeah.
They come to me in this day and time. And that's like the thing that melts my heart when I'm in my nation events, either the Universal Parliament or Show and Prove or any of our events. And I have brothers come up to me and let me know that my album had a great influence on them obtaining the knowledge of themselves or just becoming a member of this nation. Whatever it may have done for you, if it sparked something in you, I'm grateful. That means that I was successful in what I was striving to do. So furthermore, I just wanted to showcase myself as an MC. I wasn't even, at that point in time, I wasn't even looking at the business of it. I learned the business aspects of it later,
Yeah.
But that's why I say I have no regrets, though. Yes. But Mark had everything to do with me signing with Tough City. Definitely.
Did you have for the first album, did you have a hand in some of the production or did you just kind of follow Mark's lead?
Nah, I ain't had no hand in the production. That first album, actually, we recorded that first album in like 2 weeks. Wow. All of the beats was done. I had the rhymes ready to go. Mark was like, yo, you got another song for this beat? He would give me a beat every other day. He like, yo, you got a song? I'm like, yeah, we go and record it. Boom.
Wow.
Yup, that album was like, ran through like that. Believe it or not, y'all. Pure Righteousness was done real quick in maybe about 2-week period.
Wow.
I ain't had no hand in the production on that. I started getting a hand in the production on the second album. I produced what was it, Brothers in Action, and I produced Need Some Loving. Yep.
Right.
Oh,
right. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Did you always add the lessons in your rhymes from the beginning, or is that something you grew into?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did, because I got sparked with knowledge of self when I was 13. So, I had all kinds of rhymes, and I could have chose to rhyme about anything, but I love my culture and I love what it was doing for me. And I felt that I'm saying to myself, if it does this for me, then maybe it'll do something for some of my people out here. So, it had a heavier influence on me than the streets and other things that I could have chose to rhyme about. Because I grew up in Newark. I mean, I seen everything,
Right.
the hustlers, everything, the flash life, all of that was around me at the time, very close to me, you know what I mean? However, I didn't choose to rhyme about those things,
Right.
I chose that. Public Enemy had a lot to do with why I came out the way I did. I think Public Enemy influenced a lot of people. People don't mention that, but Public Enemy influenced me, your X-Clans, all of us that came after that wave. Definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, Public Enemy was one of the greatest groups ever, is one of the greatest groups ever, and it'll always be that to me.
Yep.
Me personally, shit. Word
Yo,
up.
man, Ultrabag and I were talking about
Bomb Squad, baby, Hank and them. What? They broke out mad beats, man. The James collection and shit. Like, come on, man. How could you not like Hank? Hank Shockley, baby. What?
Yep. No,
Yeah,
we were
big
talking.
influence
We were
on
talking
me.
about. Yeah, we were talking about that. Like the conversation about.
Yeah.
Unless you were there, you don't realize how influential PE was. PE was just
And PE was very influential.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Straight up. No matter who you are, when I jump in my car, what? When we heard that on the radio, come on, man. Wow, wow, what? Public Enemy, come on, man. They stormed the radio. They beats was loud. One thing about Def Jam, I could say, recordings on Def Jam pump louder. When the needle touched the record, it sounded better. It sounded fuller. The production was wider and louder, and it kicked harder. Straight up. Even Run DMC stuff and, you know, all the Def Jam stuff.
Yep.
So that I give credit where credit is due. The sound was immense.
Yeah.
Public Enemy changed the genre, man. Come on.
Yeah.
With Hank and them, come on.
Yep.
Crazy.
Facts.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy on the production.
Gotta let these
I
kids
still
know.
be trying to find this one video. I think Hank did the beat. It's a joint with Run DMC, and they be in this playground, I think, in Queens, and they had a video for this joint. I think Hank did the beat to that. I know Hank did the I think what's that? The Rakim shit for Juice.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, probably. Ooh, what you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Run DMC.
Yep. That Slick Rick, a lot of Slick Rick album, I think.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
And that's crazy. That's crazy versatility to hear Hank do all the Public Enemy stuff and then copy that Slick Rick sound with and all of that stuff. I'm like, yo, that if that ain't creativity, I don't know what it is, yo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to the Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad for life, baby. Definitely.
Yep. Did you? I wanted to ask about the talk. Can we talk a little more about the flavor unit at that time?
Sure, definitely.
Because I mean, you mentioned some of them, but like it was growing at that point, right?
Well, when I came in, I was like the what you could consider the last original member. When I got with the flavor unit, they basically was together. They didn't have a name yet, though. It was Lord Ali Bosky, Chill Rob G, Double J, Apache, Lati, Latifah, Nikki D, this brother named Tahi. You got Ruler Lord Ramsey, Shakim was around, Marky Fresh, a couple of people, you know, extended members or whatever. So when I came in, I was the last one. Boom. And we didn't actually have a name at that point, at that time. However, Lati's song, This Cut's Got Flavor, was out there. So that's what sparked the thought of us of naming the group with the title of Flavor. We didn't want to be Flavor Posse or Flavor Crew. So me coming in with knowledge of self, being a member of the nation, I'm like, yo, we together. We all have different flavors. We all from Jersey and we unify. So let's be the flavor unit. You know, we come with different flavors, but we form a unit of one under one banner, the 45 King. So we all agreed upon that, and that's how we came up with the name Flavor Unit. But yeah, and you got other members of Flavor Unit. Def Jeff is a Flavor Unit member. Naughty by Nature, definitely Flavor Unit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We have extended family. And then you see Latifah could be considered native tongue. That's why I said we got a big hip-hop family. I'm cool with De La. In fact, my first show ever that I ever did was with me, Latifah, and De La Soul at a skating ring in Boston. I took a limousine ride, me, 45 King, Paz, Dove, and Mace took a limousine from Manhattan to Boston. During that ride, they let me hear NWA for the first time in my life.
Wow.
Yep. They put me and 45 King up on Dr. Dre and NWA. Not only that, they had Slick Rick's whole album before it was released. They let us hear that on the ride to Boston, and they let us hear their album, which wasn't out at that time. Wow. So I got some iconic memories in hip hop. Yes, me, Paz, Dub, Mace, and Mark took a limo from Manhattan to Boston, and at that time they played NWA for us. They played their album for us, and they played Slick Rick's whole entire album for us. And that was the first show I did. We got a skating rink in Boston. Only song they had out, I think, was Potholes in My Lawn, and maybe the same Plug 1, Plug 2 may have been out. I'm not sure, because I think Latif only had out one joint. All I had out was Posse is Large, and I think We Got the Funk. Yep.
Right.
But that was the first show that I ever did. It was in Boston.
Wow.
Yep.
Who else
Iconic
told this
memories,
story?
man.
Somebody else told this story
Told what story?
told about them playing all of these things that nobody had ever heard before.
Oh, maybe
Somebody
Mark
else told this story.
Maybe Mark did when he was on.
It
I
could
think
be.
you're right.
It may be Mark.
I think it was
'cause
Mark.
He was the only one. It may be Mark. Yeah. Because only ones within that limo was me and Mark and De La. It was Pop, Dove, and Mace, and I think maybe one of their friends. And it was me and Mark. And they definitely played NWA's album. They played Slick Rick's album, and they played their album. And it was that's like a crazy dope experience to me. I know you better than I'm listening to that. I'm like, yo, their album was dope. Crazy.
Was Mark bugging out?
Yo, Mark was loving it because him and Prince Paul was cool. Like him and Paul was cool. He always loved Paul production. Like when this came out, boom, boom, boom. Dun, 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 dun. Mark was on that, though. You know what I mean? Mark always get props when it's due. Like when I always like Howie T. A lot of people don't mention Howie T. When you look at Howie T's history, Howie T goes back, man. You talking about UTFO, Full Force, Real Roxanne. Now bring it up to par. Howie T got some joints, man.
Chubb Rock stuff. Come on.
Chubb Rock stuff, Special Ed stuff. I'm like, come on, man. I get credit where credit is due. Howie T, definitely. Yep.
Howie T is crazy.
Stuff. Mark used to always love a lot of different producer stuff. Yeah. Yep.
Oh man. Did you tour for the first album?
No, I wouldn't say I toured. I did a lot of shows though. I was being managed by my man Dave Funkenklein. May he rest in peace. I don't know y'all familiar with Dave, but Dave used to have me up under him. He had Jungle Brothers, a lot of us at one time. You know, through Dave, I went to Paris. Dave Funkenklein took us to Japan in 1989. Me, Latifah, Lati, and Chill Rob G. We had like 3 shows in Japan. Yo, Japan was crazy back then. You talking 1989. Yeah. When we got over there was this artist they had named Chappie. He sounded like the reggae artist Tiger. Sounded just like him.
Wow.
Back in 1989.
Crazy.
Yep, that bugged me out. We in Japan. We went to Disney World in Japan. Me, Lati, and Chill Rob G. We actually caught the subway train in Japan in 1989. Yo, the subway train had crushed velour seats. For real. Back in 1989. I kid you not. We caught the train from our hotel to Disney World in Japan. Me, Lati, and Chill Rob G. Yep. The funny thing about Japan, Latifah couldn't make the last show because we had went to a batting range and we kept telling her, don't go in that batting cage. She went in that batting cage and she swinging that bat, and one of them balls had hit her, I think a nail. She had broke one of her nails or something, so she had to leave Japan early. She couldn't perform for the last show. Wow. Iconic memories. My sister. Yep. She had to leave Japan early.
Shout out to Thick Crates in the house, one of our show sponsors. Yeah, he wanted you to please have Lakim tell us the story about the first time on the West Coast meeting Cypress Hill.
Oh man, that's crazy. I think I was in LA my first time in '89. I have to shout out to all of my LA family. I don't want to miss nobody. Let me see. Doug Young. I gotta give a big shout out to my man Doug. He took care of me in LA. Excuse me for 1 second. Go on the road. Doug Young. Definitely got to give a shout out to Doug. My man King T. Ice T. When I was in Cali, I ended up staying a week with DJ Muggs and DJ Aladdin. DJ Muggs and Aladdin had an apartment downtown LA, Hollywood, or whatever. And me and my DJ, we had the option to either, probably stay at a hotel or shack up with them. I chose to shack up with them because I was familiar with Aladdin from the new music seminars in New York. We had just seen him getting it in with DJ Miz from Philly at the new music seminar, and the Latin was crazy nice. I mean, seeing the things he did on the turntables, it's like it just wowed me. If you have a love for hip hop, you got to love the DJ. To me, the DJ was the most important element to hip hop. It's not spoken upon like that, but without the DJ, what would hip hop be? What would hip hop be without the DJ who brought the music out? The DJ is the first one to pass the microphone to somebody and tell them to talk on the mic. You wouldn't have a rapper without the DJ. The DJ is the one that motivated you to want to come and dance and do a break dance or what have you. The DJ, you know what I mean? So, man, listen, to stay with Muggs and a Latin, I'm like, wow. And at the time, they ain't had no furniture in this apartment. It had I think it had carpet in it. And in Muggs' room, he had DJ equipment and records. In a Latin room, he had DJ equipment and records. So we shacked up on the floor and we stayed with DJ Muggs in the Latin, and through them, I met Be Real, I met Sin Dog, and this was before I don't even think they was called Cypress Hill at the time.
Yeah.
They weren't.
At that time, I think Dub C and Latin had a deal with Priority, and their album wasn't out yet. They was putting the finishing touches on their album at that time. But through them, I met everybody through Muggs and the Latin. I met Funk Dubious, all these different dudes used to come to their apartment and kick it with us. And they was just, they loved us because we was just real. They was like, damn, they out here. No security, none of that. Lakim Shabazz. And then the Latin was bugging because he would leave every day and go get herb, we smoke or whatever. I'm like, yo, where you going to get the weed? He like, I'm going out to Compton. I'm like, I want to go. He like, you want to come out there? I'm like, oh yeah. We from the hood. I'm from New York. I want to see what's real. So we went with a Latin to Compton. And just like, you know what I mean? He took us up in front of one of the houses, brothers out there working out or whatever. He introduced us to him. He was like, yo, you not a friend? I'm like, nah. These my peoples, man. I love my people. It don't matter what part of the planet you on. I'm going to go embrace my people. And the way that I come, they respect me because they don't see me playing like I'm some big dude. I don't care if I got records and you see me on TV. I want you to see me in person. I want you to be able to feel me because I feel you. I'm from the same environment. We may not be from the exact same environment, but I'm from the same environment. I can relate to the same struggles that you going through. So Latin had me out there. I'm walking in Compton. We all in record stores and everything. That's why I say Doug Young had me all out there. He had me introducing me to a lot of people. But yeah, Muggs and the Latin, man, I love them to this day. Those are my family right there. My peoples Be Real, Sin Dog. Y'all know I ain't got nothing but love for y'all. Definitely. I met the whole crew through them. Funk Dubious, Coolio, Dub C, you name it. All of them. And I already knew Ice-T. I knew Ice-T. So, King T, the rest of my Cali family, I love all y'all. Also, 783, my man Brett and Sean.
Yep.
Group 783, y'all. Because I stayed with them for one night.
I'm trying to think if you ever came to the radio station. I don't remember.
I don't think that first time, I'm not sure. I don't think I did.
It would be bizarre if you're hanging out with Aladdin.
Yeah, we was with Aladdin every day for a whole week.
They were part of the Mix Masters. It would be really weird. Aladdin especially.
We even went record shopping. This was at a time when we were still collecting records. We had
VIP.
We drove, I don't know, we drove from LA. It was kind of far. I don't know where we went, but we went somewhere to a record store, and Aladdin bought records, Muggs bought records, I bought records, my DJ bought records. We came back to the spot, we burning, and we playing them joints. Some of them joints ended up on people's records too.
Yeah. Did do you still have your records?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I keep all the wax intact, definitely.
Word.
I'm a crate digger and a wax collector. I got about maybe I say about maybe 15 crates of albums. I got maybe 5 crates of 45s. I keep them in storage. A lot of that stuff, you can get it digitally now, with this
Yeah,
new
but it's not.
technology or what have you. However, I still like to dig. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was actually digging earlier today, listening to French soundtracks from the 70s.
Word.
Yeah. You
That's
never
what's
know
up.
where you find something, man. I tell people, man, you are never there. If you a hip hop head like I am, you will never get tired of finding sounds, a dope kick, a dope snare. I come from the DITC family. You gotta understand, I've been reared by 45 King, my man Fat Cat Louis Vega. Once I met Diamond D, the rest is history, baby. He exposed me to, chopping sounds and this, that, and the other. I had the opportunity to sit in the studio while Apache, doing Apache's first album, right?
Yeah.
I was heavily involved with that because this is my rhyme partner. So everything he did, every rap, every rhyme, every beat, every producer, I'm heavily involved. When Large did Hey Girl for Apache, I sat right there at the console and watch him make this beat. When Q-Tip did Gangsta Bitch, I sat right there in the studio while Apache and them running around. They in the pool room, smoking, giggling, got laughing, whatever. Where Lock at? I'm in the console room watching Q-Tip work. Any opportunity I got to watch these producers who beats that I love. When I hear Tribe Called Quest first 3 albums to this day, that Midnight Marauders is an unmatched album.
Yeah.
To me
Unmatched.
personally, when it come to beats, I'm like, come on, man, Q-Tip, what? Breaking Atoms from Large Professor,
Oh
Pete
yeah.
Rock, Beat Nuts, the list goes on and on. My man Show, Primo, the list goes on and on. I already mentioned Howie. I ain't gotta mention Marley and all these other different producers. So, I come from that class, you know, and I just love it, man. It's a passion for me. It's a thing for me, and that'll never die. I can
Yeah.
sit back and listen to old break beats all day long and never get bored with it because I love it. I
Yeah.
came up on radio stations out here on the East Coast where, back in like the early 80s. Now, going back to my early days of hip hop, we used to listen to a radio station, WHBI.
Yeah.
It was on WHBI. I'm not sure the numbers of the dial, but it was on FM, and they had this is where you get Mr. Magic first. WHBI. You had Mr. Magic, then you had when he went off, you had this guy named Jerry Bloodrock. Jerry Bloodrock would play nothing but breakbeats. This is how I got familiar with all the original breakbeats. The Jerry Bloodrock show, he didn't play no rap. He would just play breakbeats. Then you had Africa Islam, the son of Bambaataa. He would play a lot of breakbeats, but he would play tapes of different rappers at different shows and things of that nature. Next, you get Supreme Team, world famous Supreme Team show. They came through HBI. And after them, you get the Awesome Two, Hank Love and them, and the rest is history. But yeah, I had to mention that part of history because that radio play did a lot for us. We had an outlet. It wasn't a lot of outlets for it, but we had WHBI. And without WHBI, I think a lot of us wouldn't have been, where we are as far as with hip hop right now. As far as on the East Coast, they had a crazy influence. If you was in the rap back then, you listened to WHBI for sure.
Yep. When
But yeah, I love my Cali crew, man. Peace to Muggs, peace to Be Real, all of them. I see they had the show where they had people in the limousine getting blunted. That show used to have me dying. Like one thing I could tell y'all, me and my DJ is the first ones to smoke a blunt with them. When we came to Cali, they wasn't smoking no blunts. They was smoking like I think bamboo. Yeah. And the night of my show, the last show that we had out there that night, my DJ asked them, yo, y'all know where to get a cigar at? They looking at us like we crazy. My DJ eventually got a Philly blunt, split that joint. We smoked it with them, and I introduced them to blunts. They'll tell you, they're my peoples. Yep. A Latin and Be Real and Mugs. Yep. They weren't smoking no blunts. They were smoking paper. And we introduced them to blunts. Yep. My DJ did, actually. My DJ Steve Just. He got tired of smoking the bamboo. He's like, yo, y'all don't know where to get those cigars from? They looking at him like crazy. They showed him where to get one from, and he introduced them to that. Yeah. And then the funny thing, like years after that, right? I was managing my nephew. My nephew was dancing. My nephew actually was dancing for Mariah Carey. She was at the MTV Video Music Awards, and I was managing my nephew. She actually flew us all out there. This was at a time when I think it was Cypress' second album had came out. Anyway, they had an album release party that weekend when I was out there for the MTV Music Awards, and I went to that party, and I actually rocked at that party, me and King T. I'll never forget that. Cypress, I'm pretty sure they could tell you about that. Muggs was DJing, and I even remember the beat that I rhymed to. I was rhyming to the instrumental of Looking at the Front Door by Large Professor at Cypress Hill's album release party. I think it was for their second album. Yeah. And I was out in Cali that time for the MTV Video Music Awards, managing my nephew. Yep. For dancing for Mariah Carey. And I ended up at that album release party. Yep. My peoples. I love them. Yep.
That's so
wow.
History. When Dave Funkenklein went to Hollywood Basic, did he ever try to recruit you to come out there?
Nah. Okay. I'm not sure. That might have been a time where I may not have been managed by him at that time. Okay. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was after your second record, or around that time.
Yeah, because at that time, after my second album, I started realizing the type of deal I had signed, and I was more focused on trying to get up out of there. I wasn't like did a lot of recording at Tough City, and after a while, I started realizing, like, yo, I got to get up out of this situation. If he not going to release me, and Flavor Unit was managing me. They was, it was people that was interested in me. They was throwing, some heavy figures at Aaron Fuchs, and he wasn't trying to release me. So, it took a minute for me to get away from that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's a learning experience, though. I share my experiences with the youth to try to teach them, the path to steer on. I always let artists know, man, don't sign nothing without a lawyer, period. You need an entertainment lawyer. I don't care if it's a manager throwing some paperwork at you, if it's a label, I don't care how much money they offering you, man, have a lawyer. And if it's the entertainment business, have an entertainment lawyer break this contract down to you so you can know and understand everything that you're dealing with here. But it's like I said, I have no regrets, though. I'm grateful, that my name still rings bells. I'm grateful that Eminem mentioned me. You know what I mean? People look at him as an icon, and M constantly mentioned me. So kudos to you, M, and kudos to whoever chose to play my music on Raising Cane. Yeah, kudos to 50. Kudos to you, M, for constantly mentioning me, keeping my name in real MC's ears. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yep.
Have you ever thought about? I know you've done songs and stuff throughout the years, right? Just singles with Mark, and you gave Chill Rob a verse on his last album, which is fantastic.
Thank you.
Have you thought about doing a new project yourself?
Yeah, it's in the works. It's definitely in the works.
All right.
Definitely. Yeah. I got about maybe a good 7 joints done.
Okay.
But we definitely working on some stuff, and we're going to do something in honor of Mark. But I'm definitely, me personally, I want to release an album titled The Understanding, because I gave people 2, so I got to give them the 3. so they could see what I've been about and where I'm at on this thing called the mic. I tell people I haven't lost the touch. When you're a real MC, you're gonna constantly hone your craft.
Oh.
Just like with producing, if you into this, you're gonna continue to do that, and you only get better with time. Just like a vintage wine, you know what I mean? As it age, it gets stronger, what have you. That's how I tell people, man. Like with this MCing thing, that's how I look at myself. As I age, I get better. My flow becomes better. My delivery is better. I have more control now. I'm not young and all that boisterous anymore. Nah. It's more controlled, it's more mature now. So yeah, I definitely want to give the world another Lakim project for sure. And that's definitely in the works, beyond a shadow of a doubt. I have to do that.
Word.
Yeah.
Because your verse on the joint on Rob's album was like,
thank you. I appreciate that. Also, not to backtrack, but speaking on Cali, there's an artist out there in Cali, my brother Born-a-Law Banks. I don't know if y'all familiar with him. Call himself Sweet Daddy Grace. He has a project. Well, he has a project coming out, and I'm on his album. I got a verse on his album. It's a song called New World, so y'all could check for that. That album should be coming out very soon. I mean, I love the underground. You know, I'm a traditional boom bap artist, and I love all the boom bap artists out there. I listen to DJ Eclipse a lot. You know, him and Premier, they play a lot of stuff that I love. And some of the new cats, you know what I mean? Like this guy on YB and Corday, I like him. I like Coast Contra. When I see them cats rapping, I'm like, yo, they the shit. You know what I mean? I love it. You know, I'm a real MC. So I give credit where credit is due, you know.
Yep.
Definitely.
Post Contra, that's Razkaz. That's Razkaz's kid.
Right.
So
I see where they get it from. I see where it comes from. You know,
exactly. That's where it comes from.
Yeah. I love Raz. Definitely. Souls of Mischief.
Yeah.
All of them. Far Side. I met Far Side. You know, they used to come to Diamond crib. When Diamond had the house up in South Orange, he had gave a cookout one time. And that's why I had met them. Far Side. You know, Diamond cookout was ill. Yeah, it's like I'm there. Far Side was there. All these different producers. Crazy. Yeah, I learned so much from Diamond, man. That's my man to this day. You know, Diamond D, man. My DITC family. And I actually knew Lord Finesse before I met Diamond. I met Lord Finesse doing the new music seminar. This was before he was even signed to Wild Pitch. And I was signed to Tough City, yup. I knew Lord Finesse back then. And then eventually I met Diamond through 45 King. And me and Diamond linked and we just stayed tight from that point on. I used to go see Diamond when he was living up in the Bronx. And he had eventually bought the house out in Jersey and South Orange. And I stayed with him to this day. You know, he moved out to Atlanta, whatever. That's my man. My DITC fam. Yup. Diamond D.
You were on a track with Diamond that was produced by 45 King on this joint right here.
Yeah, I think, Diamond produced that joint right there. And also I had the privilege of co-producing on his first album, on Diamond's first album. Right. I gave him the bass line for the joint Sadat doing the hook for Fuck What You Heard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Yep.
It was just a funny thing. Like it was at a time when I was making beats and Diamond was working on his album. He was recording at Calliope Studio in Manhattan. And I would just go over there. Anytime I made some new beats, I would go over there and play them for D. And I played that bass line, and he liked it. He was like, yo, Lock, what you doing with that? I'm like, nothing, yo. He's like, yo, can I use that bass line? I'm like, yo, sure, go ahead, yo. My people. So, you know, we do stuff like that for one another. It ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Even to this day, if I find something that I know other producers haven't used or maybe haven't found, and they out there, that's why I tell people, I dig in a crate. I'm pretty sure I got some joints that jokers ain't heard. And they ain't gonna flip it or chop it the way that I'm gonna do it. So, you know, that's why I tell you, man, if you do this, you're gonna continue to do this. You know, there's always some sounds out there that you could find. Like when you've been bred by 45 King, he taught me what a good sounding snare is. And just like I told y'all earlier, Hank had a big influence on me. I'm big on the snare, a good sounding snare, a good sounding kick, a good sounding bass line. It does something for me. I can't speak for other people, but that boom bap drives me. That's why I love Q-Tip so much. The focus on the drum is so impeccable to me. I love it. Jay Dilla. The focus on the drum, the boom bap is so important to me. Yep.
Yeah.
I just love it.
You feel it.
Can't get away from it.
So true. So true. Oh, yes, we got to talk about your video for the Lost Tribe of Shabazz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was something iconic, man. Tough City sent me over there, so I'm grateful for that. I ended up going to Egypt. That had to be around in 90. We was in 3 parts of the country. I was in Luxor, Aswan, and Cairo. And that was just a great thing for me to be able to go over there and film the pyramids and do that video. I had just wanted to show the world a part of our greatness of the things that we have built in a part of our cultural lineage. You know what I'm saying? To actually be right there was a beautiful thing. You know, when you see me in the video and I'm in the river, that's the Nile River. That's actually the Nile River. And, you know, if you look at that video, it's not like top quality far as film, but you see me, I'm on a camel. I'm right there by the 3 pyramids of Giza. That's not no prop. I'm right there. And it was a great thing to be there. You know, back then when we went over there, you had to take antibiotics and things because the atmosphere is different from over here in North America. There's certain bacteria in the water that you're not familiar with, that if you grew up over here, your system is not familiar, used to that. So you couldn't drink the water. I couldn't drink ice, like ice cubes in my drinks when I was over there, you know. But other than that, anywhere I've traveled to, I never experiment with a lot of food. You know, I stick with the fruit and basic things that I know that I can eat. You know, so it was a beautiful thing, though, man. To be over there, oh, man, that was beautiful. Japan was beautiful. Germany was beautiful. Paris was beautiful. You know, all the places that I performed at. Germany, when I performed there, that was like a real dope show. We performed in this spot. It was like a big tent. And that time, Chuck Rock was there. I think Special Ed was there. Bobby Womack performed there. The night that I performed, it was me and Stetson Sonic. Me and Stetson performed there that night. And that show was crazy. That was a crazy show. Yep. In Germany. Yep. I performed in Canada with Chill Rob G. Chill Rob and Tribe performed in Canada. We went up there with them to perform with them. So yeah, I've been around some spots here and there all across North America, and I'm grateful that our music has been able to do this for us, you know, and that people enjoy it and they appreciate it to this day. So I'm grateful for it, you know, and I'm gonna keep doing it. But definitely be listening out, you know. I'm gonna definitely hit y'all off first. Y'all be some of the first to get it. Definitely. Because my man Paul, DJ Precise out there in Denver, we working on some things. You know, he keeps the 45 King name alive, and so do I. You know, I'm never gonna let that die. That's my man, cold hard to this day. I love him. You know, so I tell people, so all hell the 45 Kings, man. We stay away from snakes because they sting, man. Y'all can't relinquish this highly distinguished. I make them C's go home and polish their English. Yeah. Yeah. Got rhymes for days.
Yes. So dope.
Man.
So dope.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ultra, did you have any other questions?
I just wanted to say that in the history of MCs, I always thought that the flavor unit had the best voices, the best diction. Like everybody had a voice and you knew what it was, and it was just so strong. Just you know, just respect for that. Respect for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. To paddle off of what you're saying, a couple of years ago, I was reading some comments online, and somebody had said, "Yo, they should have an award for best deliveries in hip hop. And the person said my nominees would be Chuck D and Lakim Shabazz. Yeah, for greatest delivery.
Yeah.
I'm honored. I'm privileged. Like I said, y'all hear who my influences are. So I look at myself as a combination of all of them. And the older I get, the more controlled it is. You know, I'm a lot more smoother now or what have you. It's not all of that rage with the delivery anymore. However, I can still deliver it. I tell people I have what's called voice control. I can make my voice deep. I can make it high pitch or whatever, you know. Or voice control. Everybody doesn't have that. I'm grateful that I can do that, you know, and deliver it as far as in rhyme flows and rhyme schemes and things of that nature. But yeah, I'm definitely working on some things, and y'all will get a whiff of that soon, very soon, definitely.
Word up. Flyline, did you have any other questions?
No, not. I'm just maximum respect. Looking forward to new music.
Yeah. I have one more question. I always wanted to know this. Are Apache and Lati brothers?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Those are my brothers. Yeah, they definitely brothers. Apache is the older brother. May he rest in paradise.
Right.
You know, I gotta give it up to my Flavor Unit compadres that went home. Apache went home first, then Double J went home. Double J, him and 45 King was crazy close. So at the time when I got the phone call, actually bugged me out, right? I got the phone call from 45 King. He like, yo, love, Double J died. And it bugs me out because I knew that 45 King's love for Double J was like unmatched. He looked at Double J as his best friend. And when he was calm on the phone telling me that, the only thing my mind told me was like, yo, Mark gonna go next. When he called me and told me, look, Double J died or what have you. In my mind, I knew it. I was like, Mark is not going to be able to take this. And eventually his health started deteriorating more and more till he got in the hospital. And it got to a point where we had to go, you know, me, Latifah, Chill Rob G, and his brother was his support system for the very, you know, the last few months of his life. You know, Mark was in the hospital for a few months. He was up in the hospital for like maybe a good 4 or 5 months. My man Paul, anytime he could get out here from Denver, he would come. But yeah, I seen it happening though, because he looked at Double J as his best friend, and Jay died out of nowhere. I mean, we didn't even know Jay had no health complications or anything. When we found, his wife said that Double J went out to his van in the morning to start his van like he normally does. So she didn't pay no mind. She said she went out there to take him his lunch. And when she went out there to take him his lunch, he was stooped over. Wow. Yep. My man Double J. So may he rest in paradise. We keep you alive, Jay. My Flavor Unit compadre. Love you. Love you, Apache. And definitely love you, 45 King. For sure.
Yeah. Rob told me about Jay, and I gave it a couple days, and then I called Mark. And Mark always would, you know, he'd hit me up and we'd talk for like an hour or 2 hours or something like that. And Mark didn't really want to talk. And I was like,
no, I knew that was going to take a toll on him, because he would say, he would, you know, I would see Mark all the time and he'd say, yo, Lock, Double J is my best friend. So to have him call me and to call me calm, he was calm, letting me know that. I knew it. I was like, this is going to push him overboard. He's calm right now, but I knew this is going to push him to the limit. So I have to prepare myself for these things. Certain things we can see, you know, before it happens. So I prepared myself for it. So when Mark went home, I was, you know, we was by his side, so we knew it was going to happen eventually. You know, but he may have went home. Yeah, he lives forever. He's going to live forever through hip hop. You know, he's amongst the hip hop stars, the hip hop constellations, and his music is going to play forever. So, you know, he's forever in our hearts. People like all of us on here right now, and all the people that's listening, they you know, we gonna love 45 King for life. So we gonna keep him alive. with some new 45 King stuff that y'all ain't heard yet. Oh, we got all the archives, trust me. He got mad beats that the world has not heard yet. So, you know, yeah, we gonna do some things, definitely.
Yeah. Word up. That's great. Well, Lakim, thank you so much for coming through tonight, bro. Really appreciate
It's been my pleasure,
it.
man. It's definitely been a pleasure. I like to say peace. Today's supreme mathematics is wisdom power. That means to speak the truth. That's also showing you got two forms of power, mental and physical. And with that, you will see who I truly am, the God of the universe. Peace. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.
The legend in the flesh. Man.
That was dope.
That was super dope.
Yo!
I know, right? Just, yeah.
Like,
That's a lot of hits.
maybe I just need to not talk right now. I don't think I should. Incredible. Like, that's fucking legend. Like,
yeah.
And still going so strong. Like, man.
He's still so dope.
Yeah.
Like, so dope. Like you hear cats from that time period or whatever, and they're still, you know, they can still bring it or whatever. Like, yo, man, Lakim, it's just like it's the illest shit. I was like, yo, damn, yeah.
So passionate about it. Like I love it. I just yeah.
You know why though, right?
Why? Okay, because he's from Jersey.
He's from New Jersey. That's why.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's plain and simple.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple.
Yeah.
Yep. You're not wrong.
Yeah. Man.
I have some hip hop mail.
Ah.
Oh, good.
Let's segue to hip hop mail then.
Look what I got in the mail from Canada.
What? Come on. What?
Yo.
My God.
Shout out to my man DJ C and Ben FM. You know, True Taxi in Gentle Rain. Got it in yesterday. Also has this patch with it. Yo, nice. Dude, the packaging for this is ridiculous. You know,
ridiculous.
It's so dope. It's so dope.
Now, but, does it come automatically already assembled, or do you have to assemble it?
Had to assemble it, but okay. if you go to DJ C's Instagram page, he shows you, meticulously how he even put it together. Like
that's dope.
He did the whole schematic and everything.
Yeah.
But yo, shout out. Actually, I have a video that I did. I don't think you put it out yet. But shout out to DJ C, the Ben FM. That's dope.
On the yellow cassette as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck, man.
That and shout out to my man Ron Living. He just dropped a new project. I think I just
video.
Yeah, he just put out the second video I did for him. I think I got a couple more, but he's got his new project. And he's dope. He's from Baltimore, the Maryland area. Yeah, Maryland, dope MC. Got more videos coming. Check my page, follow his page, but he's got some dope stuff. That's my dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Word up. Flatline, and you had a new episode of the Hip Hop Gods show tonight.
Boy, did I ever. I mean, it doesn't even matter now. We just had Lakim Shabazz on. So.
I know, right?
But
it does matter.
But it does matter.
Yes.
680 a show. So much new music. High and Mighty featuring Your Old Droog, produced by Alchemist. Brand new Chill Rob G.
Yeah.
New Lee Majors from Bush Babies featuring DB alias Christ. New KRS-One. New Black Silver featuring Tri-State and Cool Key. The new Vinnie Paz single featuring Apathy, self-titled, Esoteric, Crypt the War Child, Reef the Lost Cause, and Planetary. New JD from the Lynch Mob, new Hectic the Latin Assassin featuring Black Poet, and new Busta Rhymes featuring Killer Mike, as well as some other tasty treats for the ears. It's on Mixcloud now and in flotation on the Rap Station app.
Yes.
Boom.
I like how you did that.
Yes, indeed. Flotation.
So, there we go.
Yep.
Pew, 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 pew.
Word up.
Bow, bow, bow. There. I'm done. Go ahead.
Fantastic. Fantastic stuff. Well, yep, there you go. There's the buttery goodness for this week. Hey, you guys, if you're first time checking out Channel Zero, check out some of the other stuff we got. Tomorrow night, there'll be a new episode of Body Hat Weekly with Mocha Only and Dave Sy, as they're going to be going through Das Effects' second album.
Oh!
Yep.
Come on!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, man, where is it?
Yeah.
Come here. I can't reach it.
There it is. Straight up suicide on Body Hat Weekly.
Feel cocky on cassette. So,
Word.
But
I think,
love that album, as you know.
Flatline, you and I both love that album.
Love that album so much.
I like that album.
Love that album so much.
What?
I thought you didn't like that one.
I like that album. I like the first one better.
Okay, that's what something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Pacific. Dave Sy, Mocha Holy, Body Out Weekly, Das Effects. And then, Friday on the Angie Don't Stop radio show, Flatline, me, Mr. Chuck D, a bunch of other great segments. And then what? Sunday we have the mixtape with our man DJ Soulbuck, who's in the comments.
The comments, I was just gonna say he's in there somewhere.
Thank you, Soulbuck. Soul Business and JOJ and Ultramag, and they'll be on the mixtape right here on Channel Zero on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Soulbuck will be spinning the music of next week's guest. And who we got coming up?
Oh, do I have to say? Even though it's April Fool's Day, it'll be April Fool's Day, but I'm not joking.
Oh, is it really?
Sweet Tea.
Sweet Tea.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh man, I have to get my wedding proposal together for her.
Oh man, that's gonna be a good one.
Wow.
I have to get my dowry together.
Yes. So join us next week. Check out the mixtape on Sunday to get ready for the music of Sweet Tea, and join us next week, Tuesday. We will be here talking to Sweet Tea herself. And thank you, everybody watching live tonight. Everybody watching on the replay. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Download the Bring the Noise app just for kicks, because it's a whole lot of fun. You can do that. And we'll see everybody next week on another episode of It's CDOC again.